Web3 and bring this bridge to the Web2 world. So, everyone here enjoy the night, and we're going to be very excited for your product launch. And, let's kick off the night with the great food and all the great, amazing audiences here today. So thank you so much for the time. Yeah.
Does this work? All right. I want to thank Sunny and HashKey. I want to also thank, I want to thank Chainlink. We started this journey over a year ago as part of the build program at Chainlink. They've been incredible, just incredible partners over the last couple years, and grateful for them. I want to thank our team, obviously. Like, putting on an event like this takes a lot of work. So I want to thank the team and Spencer and Cedric and Kat and Brad and everyone that put so much effort into this. And I hope you stay after this, because after this, you're going to see an incredible panel that's going to be hosted by Chainlink with incredible CEOs and executives and builders in the industry. And then after the panel, this will all open up, and you'll be able to see people that are building as part of the space and time ecosystem. So we hope you stay. We hope you participate. There's a lot of information that you can learn both about space and time, but also about all of our partners and customers that we're building with. So also, we're customer first, right? So we want to demonstrate what you can build on a database using space and time for new applications. Look, I'm only going to take a couple minutes because I know you want to see the product. I know you want to see what Scott and team has built. I think the important thing that I want to just level set with everyone is we started this because corporations run on centralized data stacks, right? Over the past couple decades, they want to own the data. They want to monetize the data. They've done an incredibly good job at creating billion and trillion-dollar companies. And one of the key reasons is they've had to. Right? There's not a decentralized network out there. There's not enterprise scale out there. There's not tamper-proof analytics out there that you could build on something different. And so we're on this mission. We're on this journey to try to build this. The other thing I want to point out is, look, Web3 adoption is here. Every time I get into a customer call or an investor call, they say, where's the real-world assets? Right? Where's the use cases that are really driving this? I think you go around this conference, you see a couple things. You see the largest companies in the world here, right? You see the most talented people at these conferences building incredible products. You see incredible talent all over the world that is interested in building something new and unique and transparent for the future. One of the things that we noticed as we went around, though, is a lot of the decentralized applications are all, of course, being built on centralized databases, right? There's central processes at scale that aren't truly transparent, that aren't truly verifiable, and it's holding the industry back, right? And we want to unlock this for people to build in a decentralized world. The one thing that I would point out here as well is, in this world of unclarity, in the world of lack of transparency, right? AI, as it continues to evolve, the adoption will be faster than anything we've ever seen. And if you look at any headline news anywhere in the world, almost on any day, it's about risk, it's about transparency, it's about where'd that data come from, can I trust that data or not? And so this world of transparency is only evolving and getting more out of control and creating more chaos as the world evolves. Look, we believe that the future is a verify everything future. We believe that data to play in the market in the next 10 years better be a verifiable database, or you don't get to play in the market. Right? We believe that every query that's being run should be verifiable. We believe that there should be a standard verification for data. If you think about this check mark, this ability to say, where did this data come from? Can I trust this data? Is it transparent? Is it verifiable? Right? We believe that this standard is something that we could build. Right? We're not here to say, hey, we're going to be 20% faster than some database or 10% cheaper, although most times we are. right? What we're here to say is, let's go build this together. You have Microsoft here. You have, in this room, AWS, Tencent, right? You have the most innovative companies that are building new, different types of use cases. You have Web3 games being built completely on the blockchain, right? Everyone in this room, if you think about the world's compute, right, 90% of it happens in these large hyperscalers, all here tonight. You have the largest banks of the world here tonight. Like, we can go build this together, and we want to, right? There's nobody stopping us from building this together as a collective community. And that's ultimately our invitation is, let's build it together. Everyone's here tonight. There's 7 billion people in the world. Happens to be 150 that all found their way into this room. Like, let's make it impactful, and let's go build something together. Just in closing, I want to point out, it is already happening. There's customers that are already building this, right? We're already working with some of the largest cloud hyperscalers to create a more verifiable future using data. This isn't something that we're going to, dream of, and we hope it comes along, and we hope that the technology at one day supports this. What you're going to see tonight, and what Scott's going to walk through, is the technology is being built now to build this at scale. And we want to build with all of you. So if you take a look back, right, we're not talking about shifting ARR from Web3 applications that are currently going to enterprise centralized databases and data services. We're not talking about revolutionizing, the analytic data warehousing market that's going to be $250 billion in the next few years. We're not talking about, even the $8 to $16 trillion real-world assets that, Citi or BCG is talking about in the next 10 years. What we're talking about is, as digital economies start to engulf the world, the data that processes that economy needs to be verifiable. It needs to be powered by this verification standard process. And as these become synonymous, right, we believe that this opportunity is massive. We believe that this goes far beyond, being the next best analytic database, and that it should be synonymous, both the financial economy of the world and the data economy of the world. So with that said, we want to walk through what we launched today. It's been a labor of love. Just before I pass it to Scott, to say, we've been at this for over a decade now. And we're grateful for all of you for helping make this happen. We're grateful for so many that have come along this journey with us. Scott?
Am I just plugging in here? Yeah, right, this side. All right.
This is the demo?
It's going to be a demo. It's going to be some slides. Nate, that was awesome, man. I think labor of love is an understatement. We started this journey at Consensus last year. So you're about to see 1 year of hard work, about 2 years of hard work from space and time, but 1 year of hard engineering that went into this user interface. And we're going to put some slides up and start with some slides. Appreciate you guys all coming. Welcome to Space and Time. Let's journey into space and time. And while we're setting up these slides, we can talk a little bit about kind of what this last year has been. We said, okay, what is the database of the future? What would we expect from the next generation of data warehousing, even outside of Web3, even outside of blockchain? The next generation of the next generation of data warehousing should be fast for any workload, not just analytic workloads, not just applications. You have so many point solutions in the enterprise space, especially cloud point solutions for different types of workloads. You have a database for your apps. You have a database for your analytics. You have a database for large language models that does vector search. You have a database for documents and searching on documents. If you're in the enterprise data space, your company guaranteed has 3, 4, or 5 point solutions with ETL tools that sit between those point solutions and manage them. The database of the future is fast for any workload. It's AI powered. We all know that. We're going to be talking a lot about AI for blockchain data tonight. That's going to be a big focus of our presentation. No one's surprised there. Transparent when needed and encrypted in database when needed. We've integrated a partner technology called Sotero. Sotero is a very powerful in-database encryption technology that allows very large volumes of enterprise and Web3 startup data to be private, sensitive, and encrypted in database, and allows us to run SQL against that private encrypted data. Similarly, that data should be open and transparent when needed. The database of the future can allow data sets to be owned by the community, held by the community, open and transparent. Finally, verifiable, tamper-proof, connected to smart contracts. Obviously, Space and Time is building the data warehouse for Web3, the data warehouse that reads and writes to smart contracts, and we're going to show you, not talk about it tonight. Let's see here. What would this enable for Web3? Well, the first wave of data-driven smart contracts. If we can actually set a data warehouse next to the chain and offload some of the compute and storage requirements that smart contracts have. Today, smart contracts, they can megabyte of data, right? Most smart contracts can't handle more than a few megabytes of data. The equivalent processing power of a 1980s mainframe, COBOL mainframe for a bank, and we need to supplement the capabilities of a smart contract with additional compute and additional storage. It would enable the next wave of dApp developers to actually just keep things simple. A dApp developer should deploy their smart contract and deploy their front-end UI, and Space and Time does the rest. It's not just a database. It's a comprehensive API layer for everything that a dApp developer needs to do. Why should a dApp developer have to manage their own back-end infrastructure? Just deploy your UI, deploy your smart contract, leave the rest to Space and Time. So let's start by asking a question. I was wondering, like, what are the top 10 wallets on ETH? How about this? Show me all ETH wallets with, can't type today, with a balance greater than 100. While that's running, this is going to reach out to OpenAI, generate SQL, execute that SQL, and give us a result in our dashboard. The database of the future should have dashboards that are automatically generated by AI for business analysts and give them AI-based analytics in the dashboard itself. Finally, we need to enable billion-dollar businesses. I'm not talking about billion-dollar valuations. I'm talking about billion-dollar ARR businesses in Web3. Those businesses are going to reach consumers and have millions to hundreds of millions of users. Millions to hundreds of millions of users requires a lot of data. We're talking tens of terabytes, hundreds of terabytes off-chain. This data will not be on-chain. Why? Because the chain itself is a layer for transactions, for financial transfers. It's a layer for metadata, for aggregated information about what happened off-chain. Where is all that off-chain data stored? In a verifiable Web3 native database. We started at Consensus 2022 with a few lines of code and a few founding engineers. This is monumental for us because we kind of began our journey 1 year ago here at Consensus. Okay, we know the database of the future is and connected to smart contracts. We know it's AI-powered. We know it's fast for any workload. We know it's encrypted in database when needed and transparent when needed. Okay, so what do we need to build to ensure that? We set out with some founding engineers, a lot of code, and we put our heads down for a year and built that. We built Space and Time is really 5 things in one. It's a beautiful UI, which I'm going to walk through in detail tonight. It's a very powerful database that's fast for any workload, apps, or analytics. It's a validator layer with BFT consensus to gossip to a bunch of other databases in a global network, blockchain-like technology embedded in the database, a novel ZK proof. We went and got for a novel cryptographic technology, a new ZK circuit we built from the ground up, hard cryptographic technology in order to connect this database to smart contracts. And then, of course, it's got to be preloaded with blockchain data. We've got to have a mature enterprise-grade indexer that preloads all the data our customers need, already sitting in Space and Time from major chains. So what does that look like? If I go ahead and open up our datasets view, we can see a bunch of different blockchains that we support today and more constantly coming. We're on a hunt for more blockchain data. If I open up Ethereum, we see a beautiful next-generation visualization of the Ethereum dataset. This is Ethereum. If I look up transactions table, if I search for transactions, it'll find me my transactions table and show me all the other tables, reorganize my schema, my data model, to show me what I can access. I can join my smart contracts table with my transactions table. I can understand a relational, easy-to-query copy of what's on chain. Accurate, verifiable, and already preloaded into Space and Time. Let me cross over. But Scott, what about decentralization? I thought the homepage of spaceandtime.io said decentralized data warehouse of the future. And what you just showed me was like kind of an enterprise-grade centralized database. How are you decentralizing? We take that validator, we take that data warehouse node, and the proof of SQL ZK proof that sits between the data warehouse and the validator, and we run that across the globe, user-operated. Tons of users from Singapore all the way to Manchester to New York can run their own space and time clusters in their basement, in their data center, in their Azure tenant, and contribute the work of their cluster back to the network. This powers apps, and this powers dashboards and analytics, including large language models and all of our fun chatbots. We connect to major chains via that ZK proof. We read data in via our indexer and send data back to smart contracts on chain via that ZK proof. And I'm going to show you how that works in just a minute. And then, of course, we connect to apps via streaming data and APIs. I have some time set aside for a little demo, but I've been kind of doing it live in front of you. Let's get into it. Gone are the days of painfully writing SQL. Nobody in this room can write me a 300-line SQL statement. And if you can, I'd love to talk. You shouldn't have to. Rennick, one of our partners and investors, said, Scott, like, I want to know top 10 dApps by gas fees. When he asked me to write this prompt, I got very nervous because this is a demo environment and I didn't know how it would go. We take this prompt and we send it to OpenAI with all the context of the database. And you're going to see that context in a second. OpenAI gives us back a query result, and it attempts its best to understand what is a dApp, what are gas fees, how does it even know what the context of those words, those business terms even mean. It does its best with the context that we hand to it. On the right side here, you see the context from the database, all the tables and all the information that we can hand to OpenAI, and it does its best, and it continuously rebuilds the query until it works. What you just saw is OpenAI live in front of you rebuilding the query against blockchain data until it actually worked and could show Rennick top 10 dApps by gas fees. Let's do it again. Let's see, show me all wallets with can't type, balance greater than 100. This is going to run live. You're going to see SQL return back into the dApp. The SQL's returned, and now it's executing against Ethereum data. Our friends at ChainML have worked very hard to integrate a conversational engine into the space and time chatbot. So we can also do the same thing in a chatbot. Show me all ETH wallets with a balance greater than 100. And while we're exploring blockchain data, like I'm opening up the Ethereum core data set, I can be just playing around exploring Ethereum data, and the chatbot, with the help of our conversational engine from our friends at ChainML, runs the SQL in the chatbot, previews it, and shows us the query result live. It gets better. We're not done yet. Then we automatically visualize that data. The next step is no one's got time to pick out pink bar chart with x-axis is balance, y-axis, timestamp. No one has time for that. Charts should be automatically be generated for you. You can edit them if you don't like what you see. You can save these charts to dashboards, publish them in just a few clicks, or just ask OpenAI to publish a dashboard for you, and of course it will. We're not done. Then our friends at Chainlink come in and help us put this data on chain, whether it's to our smart contracts on chain, space and time smart contracts to publish this data for our customers, or our customers that have already written their own smart contracts that just want to, hey, I want to write my queries with OpenAI. I want to write my prompts, get my SQL, and publish my query results to my smart contracts on chain. Just click Send Data to Chain. What this does is imports your query into a Chainlink environment, a Chainlink config, where we're configuring an Oracle job automatically for you. Down at the bottom, you see the query result in natural language of how it's going to look on chain. Do I want to put a string on chain? Do I want a 2D array? How do I actually want to put this query result on chain to build DeFi on top of it, build gaming reward systems on top of it, build insurance tech, build tokenized real-world assets, you name it. Load data, stream data into space and time, write queries that aggregate that data, and then build Chainlink jobs that put that data on chain in just a few clicks. This is space and time. So let's go through it. I'll wrap up very quickly with just a recap of everything that we've built, the sheer magnitude of engineering that we've done in 1 year. Imagine what the next year will look like. We built a very mature enterprise-grade blockchain indexer to grab every event from every transaction, from every block, from every major chain, because why not? Every customer needs it. You might as well preload the database with that data. We grab everything from the chain, and we also grab your things. What does that look like? You say, hey, Scott, it's cool that you get me the entire Ethereum chain, but I only care about my smart contracts. Okay, fine. I was just earlier Googling the Sushi Swap Master Chef smart contract. Let's put that into space and time and say, look, I don't care about getting the entire Ethereum data set. I just want my data from my smart contracts. So you input your smart contract address. Space and time automatically generates tables in the database based on your smart contract events. For every event in your smart contract, we create a new table, we populate that table, you're good to go. If you're building a video game, we can populate the database with your smart contracts that mint NFTs or give rewards. If you're building a DeFi platform, we can populate your database with all of your liquidation events. All right, we built a validator, a BFT consensus service that connects a whole network of these clusters together across the globe. A decentralized database has to be community-owned and community-operated. It has to be simple enough that anybody in this room can spin up a space and time cluster with the network, paid for the work your cluster does on behalf of that network. It powers your apps, it powers your smart contracts, it powers your large language models, and of course your BI and analytic tools. What's fun about this validator is that this validator is actually an API gateway. We chose an API everything approach to space and time. Everything that you're seeing in this UI is just a UI to demonstrate all the APIs we have available for developers to build on. If you're not building on space and time and on our comprehensive suite of APIs for analytics, I would encourage you to give it a try. We built a novel data warehouse from the ground up. This is painful. This is the majority of our engineering. The majority of space and time engineers are cryptographers and database developers. What they did is they built a new database technology from the ground up that's an in-memory OLTP cache, which means really fast queries, merged with a scalable analytic cluster, meaning really complex queries. Traditionally, in the enterprise, you have either or. You spin up a database for your transactions, and you spin up a database for your analytics, and you pay for both, and you pay for tools to merge, to migrate data back and forth in the middle. And it's painful. It's so much infrastructure that an enterprise has to spin up. Wouldn't the database of the future just be one cluster, one solution, one code base that has low latency queries for apps and scalable analytics for running your large language models or doing your machine learning or doing your dashboards? Remove the point headaches. Space and time built a single solution embedded with ZK proofs that prove and verify that the work that the space and time. We're almost done. Bear with me. We built a novel proof, a new cryptographic circuit specifically for this. If you're going to tie your database into your smart contract, well, you got to have some kind of cryptographic verification. And this goes way beyond Web3, right? This allows enterprises to also verify that the analytics they're doing are accurate and real. 2 weeks ago, we ran performance benchmarks against our ZK proof, and we got it down to a 4.2-second proving time against a million-row database table on a single GPU. What does that mean? That means a single GPU can generate cryptographic that not only did the SQL run right, but the underlying data hasn't been tampered or manipulated in 4 seconds within reasonable business expectations. When we think about ZK, we think, man, that's 2 years out. Like, I can't imagine that this would ever work for a real business. It'd be cool for like a little Web3 smart contract, but you're not going to see JP Morgan Chase using a ZK proof to verify their database. Au contraire, friend. We got this down to reasonable business SLAs, extremely high performance, because we built a cryptographic circuit from the ground up, smart contracts. What does this ultimately mean? Space and time becomes the ultimate cross-chain state-proof singularity, connecting every data point from every major chain, reading every message from every event, from every single current or historical state of every blockchain to other blockchains. Space-time sits in the middle between all these chains and connects them all together. You can write a smart contract on Arbitrum that asks, hey, what's going on with my liquidations on Polygon? You can write a smart contract that says, hey, what's going on with my video game minting on ZK Sync? And what would this enable? Of course, the next wave of DeFi, cross-chain DeFi, powered by Chainlink and connected to different chains via Chainlink. The ultimate cross-chain state proofs from any major chain to any major chain with the help of our friends at Chainlink. Actual cloud scale, millions of users scale businesses in Web3 that can actually process their data connected to the chain. And where are we going? Cool, Scott. Where are we going next? This is my last slide, and we'll call it a day, and we'll open up the curtain, and we'll have some fun. The last year was crazy. It was hard. I still haven't slept much. Where are we going next? All right. Here looks like this. Prompt to SQL is just the tip of the iceberg. Prompts that run SQL that get you analytic dashboards is only the beginning. We need to take AI to the next level and embed it in everything we do, blockchain related or not. And of course, we'll be embedding vector search operations in space and time as well to make it easier for large language models to leverage data inside of space and time. So text to entire dashboard, not just text to SQL. Vector search inside of space and time. Finally, we got to take this ZK proof to the next level. We got to bring this to businesses, make it part of everyday transactions, as Nate so elegantly put it. Businesses should verify everything. You shouldn't run your SQL on a centralized analytic black box where your executives don't even know if the information going in and out of your database is real. And of course, let's bring space and time to a desktop. If you have a gaming desktop, you should be running a space and time node, and you should get paid for the work that your desktop does. We started big. We started with a big cluster scale data warehouse. Now let's make it small. Let's have a little mini space and time that runs on your desktop, runs a ZK proof prover, handles a terabyte of data on your local SSD on your gaming desktop, and let your desktop be part of the space and time network. That's where we're going next, and I'm excited for all of you to join us in that journey. Let's have some fun. Let's get some drinks. Thanks for coming. We love you guys.
All right.